working. Oh, okay, now I see my mic. All right, so I think I'm talking right now. Again, I apologize. I've been rambling for at least 10 minutes there with no audio. I'm sorry about that, guys. I haven't twitched in a while. And I just forgot what setting to turn on. So back to kind of what I was saying. Let's see. Backtrack a little bit here. I'm talking about how I'm just not having to worry about where I put the pencil to lay down my stroke. I just know that when I go down to draw, I'm going to get the stroke where I want it to. There's no guesswork involved. When I was using the Adana Jot Touch and the Wacom styluses, it'd always be off about like an eighth of an inch. All the only options you have were left and right in like this orientation, or this orientation, which to me is like nothing. I couldn't set that to do anything I wanted to. So I was always off. But this right here is like I'm pushing down and I'm getting the line exactly where I want. There's no guesswork, and I don't have to move my hand off of the tablet, which I had to do that for a while there. I was like trying to be careful about it and drawing off to the side like I normally have to do because most of the apps didn't support palm recognition. But globally across the board on the iPad Pro, it just works. So I don't have to worry about that. So this again is the 6B pencil, and you know, I can just tilt it down here and get some thicker, thin shading. It's very, very sensitive, so I can get some nice gradation values as I build up. It's really one of the best drawing experiences I've had on a tablet by far. I did try out the Surface Pro and the Surface Pro 4 and the Surface Book, and I just didn't like that Intrigue stylus at all. It had like a rubber tip on it, and it was really wonky, and also it failed the diagonal test. This works great. There's no jag. Like when I was drawing it before, I actually doing this by hand, but like look at that. It's perfectly smooth. Whereas the Microsoft Surface pen failed on that. It had star casing. This is just a dream to draw with. I mean, I'm just getting in here and just tweaking. Like I can go really small, build up value. And not once have I actually had to go and change my opacity or my brush size. I'm just staying in the one tool. So right there, I think that is a big time changer, time saver. You're not actually having to go through and adjust your settings. I'm just working with the one tool at its default. And then when I want to lay down some shading, I just tilt and build up value, and it just works. Once again, Apple did it. Look at that. So this is going to be a dream to work with. So that's Procreate. Let's jump over to another app. We'll do Paper. I haven't used Paper that much because they didn't have good support for the stylus I was already using, but I'm willing to give it a try. I did just a quick little pencil study here. Again, each one of these has their own way of doing the graphite texture. This one is very, very light here. I feel like on paper I have to push down a little bit more to register darker. I'm at full dark. I have to push down quite a bit here inside Paper to get press sensitive to read, but it's not bad. Like I said, I wish there was. I think this didn't come through previously. I wish there was a global setting similar to what you can do on the Wacom tablets displays, where I can go through and there's a curve, and I think it's this way, and then when you change your curve like here, you get a softer input, and that way I don't have to push as hard and it will register. So I wish that I could do something like that in a global setting. I don't know what the default setting is for the pencil on the iOS side, so it would be nice to have access to that at some point to maybe dial in, because I tend to draw with a lighter hand, even though in real life I tend to draw with a heavy hand, but on the stylus I tend to draw with a lighter hand, so I'm not pushing down and getting more fatigue. So it'd be nice if I could adjust that line a bit, the weight of the curve. But for the most part, it's working really nicely here. That's the pencil tool. Let's see, what is this? I think this is a thick marker. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sensing tilt on this one. Again, I think a lot of these are just by default that person sensitivity is on. You have to like pair this at all, which I love, not having to worry about pairing my stylus. The only thing I did was the first time I plugged it in, you plug it into the lightning port and it pairs, and you can check the battery status. So this came actually 100% charged, so that was kind of nice. I don't have to worry about charging it up. There's a brush stroke here. Yeah, this brush stroke always kind of was a little wonky to me. I don't like too much of this pittiness on here. And I realize that these tools and paper are like, they just give you a limited amount of like, here you draw with these and that's what you get. I don't know how many of you use in paper that much. There's a little paint roller. I don't know what this one does actually. It looks like a shape kind of control for filling in. Looks like they have a ruler tool. I think what this is. I don't know what this actually does. I haven't played with paper in a while, so I have to get reacclimated to it. Looks like let's do like some kind of straight line. I think Procreate now has something like that too, where it will draw a straight line, predictive line there. All right, let's get out of paper. I have to give that a little bit more of a shot. Back into Sketchbook. So I did this one really quickly at work. I was just showing a guy how I use the symmetry tool, and we'll pop this back into. Can I go into portrait mode here? Not seeing it tilt. There we go. See, that's weird. I thought I started it in portrait. We'll stick it in landscape. All right. Let's do a new layer here, and we'll turn this one off. So, for instance, I want to do some blocking in of shapes. The one thing about Adobe, Autodesk Sketches, I don't think they don't do any tilt. At least none that I know of. I have to read the release notes to see if they've done anything new. It looks like there is some pressure sensitivity. Again, I feel like I have to push a lot harder in Sketchbook to get it to register. I'm not a big fan of having to push too hard because this thing is going to fatigue on my hand. So I'd like to be able to adjust the sensitivity on that. But it's pretty fluid. Let's see here. I usually like to go here and then pick a white color, and I'll go through and do my little delineation of shape here, and kind of these quick little symmetry bots. But it's going to be a blast using this for concepting and just drawing out, sketching. It's just really fast. I can save the stuff as a layered Photoshop file. When I'm in Adobe Sketch, the nice thing is that you can actually send it right over to Photoshop with layers. So, you get people complaining about it doesn't have a real file system. Well, guess what? You don't really need it for some of the stuff. If you kind of use it how it's designed, I can draw and send the data over directly to Photoshop with layers intact. So, no complaints there. It works. Or you can actually save it to your iCloud, or save it to your Dropbox, depending on what app you're using. So, people who don't know how to use that stuff kind of tend to complain about it, but you can get real work done. So anyhow, that's Sketchbook. I think I'm gonna have to play around with Sketchbook some more. I've kind of my excitement for Sketchbook has kind of waned over the last year. I'm just not a big fan of their brushes anymore. They kind of don't really do stuff that Procreate is the one to beat. Procreate and Adobe Sketch are my two favorites right now, just because their brushes are really nice, and I think with Procreate too, like it just gives you so much control over. It's more intuitive to change your brushes up. I have to give these guys more of a shot. Let's go into Adobe Sketch. I was doing this one right before I started the broadcast. I'm really digging the pencil tool here. It's just amazing. Again, I haven't changed. I think I changed the size once here. Just kind of going through and make it a little bit smaller. It's almost too small, but it's like you can get a nice fine hairline pencil in there. And again, I'm drawing off center here. It's like I'm not like looking right over the canvas. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Another thing I'm noticing too is, depending on how I'm sitting, if I want to get a thinner line, I have to somehow force myself to make sure I'm drawing at a more perpendicular angle, so I will get that straight line, and then tilt it when I want to do the shading. So it's just going to take a little bit of getting used to, because I never really had the tilt functionality before on a tablet. But it is a joy to use for sure. Man, just like laying down some simple shapes and then blocking in some shading. Come on, look at that. It's really nice. Yeah, I think Adobe Sketch and Procreate are definitely get my two most attention for me right now, because I just love the way they perform. And another nice thing about this too is, so when you're ready to share this, you can actually go in and say send to Photoshop, and I'm logged in on my account, and it'll go through and it'll send it, and it will actually launch Photoshop. So let's see. Come over to my desktop here. Let's see if it's actually loading up. My Creative Cloud was offline. Let's retry. Because I think I had to log out here when I was on the site of another place. I had to log out and re-log back on. So I had to. It wiped me out. It unlogged me out of 2 accounts. Yeah, 2 at once. Anyhow, that should be sending over to Photoshop. Let's see. What else do I have on here? Sketches. I haven't played with this one in a while. I can't remember all the tools. Now, I thought I had the Pro Bundle, because I thought I bought all this stuff on the old iPad, but when I created a new account on this new iPad, so I don't know what I have here. Let's just see what I got. I can't remember how to access all the stuff. There we go. Let's do it stylus. I don't think I need to worry about pairing everything. Which is really nice. It just works. Let's see. I can't remember how to get my tools on this program. How do I get my tray of tools? There we go. Let's see what I got here. This, I don't know if it's... Looks like there's some pressure sensitivity. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looks like paper's blocky brush, water brush. All right, I gotta try this one later. Let's see what else I have here. Concepts. I can't remember. This one I think is the vector one. Let's forget this. I'm not gonna sit there and go through all this testing when I'm live. Bamboo paper used to be my other favorite, because of all the digital styluses that I was using. Let's just do this for now. Just try to do a quick drawing. You can see here I was trying to get my old Wacom, the latest Bluetooth version to pair, but I was getting these really stuttery lines. It wasn't working. So this looks like it's working. The pencil just works. Right off the bat, I don't have to worry about... Let's see, here's the stylus configuration. I don't know if I hold this down, if it's going to connect anything here. No stylus found, make sure... Okay, so I don't know what the support is. If this just is recognizing this and working. It doesn't look like it's doing... it looks like it's doing something. It's not looking like it's doing any pressure sensitivity. So I don't know what the deal Wacom's doing here, if they're supporting this yet or not. But it looks like you can actually use it. I'm not seeing it doing any pressure sensitivity on this. So I'm sure they want you to use their own stylus for this, but I'm never going to use any other stylus again except the one that's designed for the iPad Pro now, to be honest. Pencil. Yeah, okay, so I'll have to play with that a little more and find out what's going on with that. What else do I have on here? Photoshop Mix. I haven't even played with this yet. I think this is the one where you can actually go through and alter stuff. I gotta sign in all this stuff first. Shoot. I should already be signed in. Let me see if I just... Screw the tutorial. Let's just jump in here. So says yes. Let's grab... select an image. Got it. So we'll just go here and grab something. Is it not letting me grab something from that photo stream? I don't get it. There we go. Let's see, we'll do this. What I need to do, looks, cutout, blend, upright, shake, reduction, and fill. I have no idea. Blend. I thought there was that mode where I can actually go and do some... Sorry, I shouldn't be trying to learn this stuff while I'm showing this on live. We'll do this later. I'll do another broadcast. Tonight really is all about just getting into drawing. So for that one, it's procreating a sketch. Let's go add a new layer. And then I like to do my colors on the different layer here. So we'll go here and start adding some value into here. And then we'll pick these painting brushes and see what they look like. It's like a damp brush. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I want to try the Smudge Tool. So this is kind of cool. So instead of using the stylus to smudge, it's almost feel like you want to naturally use your finger to smudge. So I could smudge, then go back and draw or paint, and then go back and smudge a little bit here. If I go back to that drawing layer and smudge, let's see what I get here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to change the settings on this. That's too much of a smudge, but it's interesting to see how it works. Yeah, I haven't really used smudging too much, so we'll have to see how that works. If I want to use it too much, I don't like using it too much, but man, I tell you, just for now, just the sketching with the pencil is where it's at. Just being able to draw and use it as a sketchbook. For me, definitely worth the money. I've said this before on my timeline, but I don't need to run right now. I don't need to run ZBrush or Maya or Keyshot on this because I'm using it all day on my main desktop and doing all the heavy lifting there. This is probably going to be my digital sketch pad, and it saves me time from having to do my drawings, scan them in, clean them up in Photoshop, and then post them for client review. I can just do all my sketching now right here on the iPad. And actually, I just got a job working with at RealFX now, working on an animated gig. So part of the time I'm doing a lot of sketching before I jump into 3D, and I have to hand it off to someone to scan in, and then the scanner that they have is not the best scanner, and they have to go through and tweak all this stuff. So I got to do all my quick studies here on the iPad now, send the stuff over via the cloud, and I'm off to the races. Wow, this is just amazing. It's just real. This feels like pastel right here. Kind of building up. It's like digital art is fun again on mobile. I should have clarified that, on mobile. I had such high hopes when the iPad first came out years ago, and I just could not get a stylus that would work. It was always frustration, and I would just give up on it, but this actually is a pleasure to use. Wow. I'm having lots of fun with this. Yeah, it's going to be really nice. So that's just a quick little overview of the pencil on iPad Pro. I guess I should try doing another session sometime where I can actually take questions and try to answer some of them as I'm doing this. But yeah, Procreate, this is the cool thing about Procreate, you can save this out as this will come out over, these layers are Photoshop compatible, so you can send this over and it's editable as layers, and it's all good. So that's a quickie on the Apple Pencil. Also, one thing I wanted to mention was that I think at the beginning is this is how I'm going to transport my pencil. So I just put it along with my other pencils so I don't lose it. And there you go. So everyone's like crying about, oh, I'm going to lose my stylus. Well, guess what? If you're a responsible artist and you carry your tools along with you in your case, then you're not going to lose them. So I hate that fucking argument that people are like, I'm going to lose it. It's stupid. Here's another thing. This is the so when you are docked and you do a quick scan, a quick overnight possibly charging. This is the female connector, and then they give you an extra nib. So the nibs just very lightly come off. I'm just really curious how long this is going to last, and the reason they give you a second one, and also can you buy more, and will there be different different nibs that have different texture? That'll be interesting to see as well. This is it's kind of a matte surface. It's not gritty or anything. So when you're dragging it across the surface, it feels like it's glassy, but it's not like it's not going to fall in my hand. It's like I'm totally in control over the stroke. So I don't feel. It's definitely like glassier than my Cintiq screen. Cintiq screen has a little bit of friction to it. This doesn't have that much friction. But again, it doesn't really bother me. I've used styluses for so many years and the Cintiqs for so many years. I just know what to expect. So the main thing for me is knowing when to get the stroke where I put it. That's the main thing. I've never had this precise control on the iPad. I've always had that control on the Wacoms, on the Cintiqs. And, of course, these have a tiny bit of lag too, but it's something that I can never work around. The parallax has never been an issue for me because if you, depending on how you're sitting and you pick your 4 quadrants and it remaps it, then I never really had to worry about that. The nice thing about this is I love that it's such a narrow tip too, so I can kind of see what I'm doing, and I'm not holding it down like this. I can hold it like a real pencil and get back a little bit, especially when I'm shading. So that's a quick little hands-on with the Apple iPad Pro and the new pencil stylus, which is just a dream to use. I am really excited to have this finally in my hands, and I think I'm going to be drawing a ton more. It's going to get me just to do even more sketching outside of the studio. I mean, yeah, I have my sketchbook with me, and I draw, but not as much as I should be drawing, and I think now I will be drawing even a lot more. So that's going to be another benefit of that. Totally worth it. So if you're an artist and you guys are anybody's doing sketching or concepting or any of that kind of stuff, you are going to love this. It works. Go to the Apple Store and try it out, because when I first got to try it out last Wednesday, I flipped out. It was really nice to try it out. So there you go. Loving it. Sorry, I'm not doing a final drawing of anything. I'm just too tired right now to do anything real, and I'm sitting at a funky angle. So this is just me noodling around, but hopefully you can get an idea from my noodling how nice it is to use. Yeah, Procreate is a shit too. Procreate is the app to get. This is like the one, the premier drawing app on the iPad Pro is Procreate, and I would say followed closely by Adobe Sketch. So that's just my opinion. There you go. So I'll try to do more sketches later, and I'll try to do more. Maybe I'll try to do like a sketch a day and post up something on my Instagram. So follow my feed. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace.